All right, Shalom Aleichem, and welcome to Machin Leira online smicha. You know, one of the things you're not allowed to do in Shabbos is haitzah. You're not allowed to carry outside in the place where there's no Erev, you're not allowed to carry. So every additional thing that's not meant for you to be part of your typical dress code, it might be considered carrying. Even extra clothing is a discussion. Some jewelries, some attachments, whatever. This is a big discussion. The question I want to discuss today is being that some of these things, even if they're on you, you might pick it up and carry it, walk with it, and not dress yourself with it, is a discussion of Shulchan Aruch. And Siman Shin Aleph, the Ramah writes, Mutar lotzeis b'minol shel eitz. You're allowed to walk. Back then, they had wooden shoes that your foot would slip into it. You're allowed to walk it outside with those shoes. You're not afraid that it will fall off and then you'll pick it up and you'll carry it. Don't worry. And then the Ramah goes on to say, V'chein b'pantish. Pantish is slippers. You're allowed to go outside on Shabbos with slippers, even though slippers, and maybe they're not the most common thing that you wear outside, but if you're not going to take off the pair of slippers and carry it, so why shouldn't, as long as it's set for my feet to walk, I wouldn't have an issue. However, even the Ramah says, V'yesh machmirim v'oisrim. There are those that are machmir and are not comfortable with the fact that people wear slippers outside on Shabbos. You might end up carrying it, or the minol shel eitz. And that's a discussion, again, as I said, in the Ramah and Siman Shin Aleph. However, the Ktsois HaShulchan, Reb Chaim Lo, and Siman Kuf Tes Vav Ha'ara Vav, says that today's days, it is not common for people to walk barefoot in the street. And therefore, even if your slipper or your shoe falls off, you're right away going to put it on. You're not going to hold it and carry it. So therefore, you have no problem. There's no problem walking outside with slippers because there's no chashash. But as long as you're wearing the slipper properly, if the slipper is not your size or the slipper slips off, it's very easy to slip off, not like some of the slippers that we have today where there's a strap in the back. It's fit very nicely. But if you have a slipper that slips off your feet very often, then we attack our worry that maybe it'll be easier for you to walk barefoot and you'll carry it. And even that, some say, where do we find people so comfortable walking barefoot? But Lepardo, if it's a good sized slipper and it's pretty much fit on your foot, you're allowed to walk outside with it on Shabbos. The only issue people say is you should be worried, the Ktsois HaShulchan mentions this, try not to walk in mud. Why? Because if you walk in a muddy area, sometimes a person feels more comfortable taking off his slipper and walking barefoot in the mud than walking with the slipper and getting stuck in the mud. Then you'll have a whole big problem schlepping it out. So then we're afraid that you'll end up carrying the slipper. So as long as you walk on regular ground and the slipper is pretty much on your foot properly, it's not a problem wearing slippers even in a place where there's no Erev. And even though we find that in Yom Kippur, there are people who, because you're not allowed to wear leather shoes, so there are people who go barefoot and just wear socks. So in other words, people do so. Nevertheless, we rely on the Makim Tzarech Mitzvah ala Makilim, and you're allowed to walk out with slippers. But if anybody says, "Nah, I'm afraid that you might carry it," Hamachmir Yachmir la'atzmeh. If you want to be strict on yourself, but you don't have to stop people who are wearing slippers on Shabbos outside.